Hey, good morning, everyone. And you might be watching this in the afternoon. Oh, good. Thanks. We just had a let there not be light. Let there not be light. We can be overwhelmed with light. So thank you for coming. And this is, I think, our week 5 on yoga. And so trust everyone is doing well. And, day by day, that's all we can do. And yoga teaches us how to be present to the moment. So no matter what's to be happening, on television or in the news, that we can be centered through the whole process. And again, there are 8 limbs to yoga, and only one of them is the physical practice. So, how can I combine my awareness and mindfulness and breathing with my physical practice? And that's part of what we do here today. So, with that in mind, again, I'm Barbara. I'm teaching here. And also, I wanted to announce to people in February, we are going to be doing a different kind of yoga class for people who cannot get on the ground. And so it's mostly chair and standing. We do a little bit on the ground, but not very much. So if you know someone who would love to do yoga but says, I can't get on the ground, I'm not going to do downward dog on the ground, or I'm not going to, do the like triangle on the ground or plank or anything, that we have an option for those people. So it's going to be on Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. So for those people that can't do a full traditional practice, we've got another option for you. And so just want to make that little announcement. So let's start with meditation, with closing your eyes and finding, of course, a comfortable place to sit. So you could also look at the ground, with what they call soft eyes. And whether you're crossing your legs or whether you're sitting on a block or some cushions or a blanket, just get that comfortable place and feel the breath move your body as you breathe in. As if you could imagine what your organs and your muscles and everything look like, and even your rib cage look like as you're breathing. Kind of like if you went to OMSI or something and you see the inner workings of a body, you can just imagine the body moving while you're breathing. And feel the rootedness to the ground at the first chakra and the second chakra. That rootedness, like there's energy coming down from the earth all the way up, and then coming down, breathing in and breathing out. And then breathing in and expanding your spine upwards like a dancer, and then out. And in and out. And just stay in there in that movement. I'm just going to be right back. And just stay in that place. And as you continue to breathe in and out, keep your mind centered in the center. And then bring your hands to your heart center, talking about the center. And just hold in your heart what your intention today for your practice is, whether you're listening to this on a recording or live. And then bowing your head to your hands and allowing your hands to come to the lap. You can just keep your head down to stretch the back of your neck. And then bring your head over to the right so that your right ear is on your right shoulder. And then bring your left hand up over your left ear. It's like you're gently putting a little bit of weight on the side of the head. And then take the left arm out. So this is the right arm, excuse me. The right arm on your left ear, and you're pushing that left arm out. So the heel of the hand, like you're against a wall. Breathing in and out and feeling the stretch on the left side of your neck. Looking forward, of course. And then take that hand and put it on the side of your face, the right side of your face. Move your head up. And then you're going to come over to the other side. So you're going to go to the left side, left ear to left shoulder. Again, the left arm overhead, and the right arm now gets pushed out. And you're pushing down through the sit bones if you're sitting on however you're sitting to give that length to your back. And then take that left hand on the side of your head and push up. And just for a moment, practice your ujjayi breathing. So breathing in and out. Remember, it's like fogging a mirror. You start out with the breath in the mouth, breathing in, breathing out. You start with that if you're unfamiliar, and then you breathe in through the nose instead of the mouth with the same sensation in the back of your throat. You can hear it inside. Ujjayi breathing. And place your hands on your belly. And let's do some belly breathing with Ujjayi. So feel the belly come out. And come in. And release. And then you can change the cross of your legs if your legs are crossed, either in Savasana or Uttanasana or sitting on a block. Let's just do some arm raises and twists and some side bending. So starting with the hands in Anjali Mudra. We've probably done this before. Breathing in as your elbows come up, breathing out. You're rounding your upper back. Again, you're breathing out through the nose. Breathing in, arms come up. And then we're going to do a side bend over to your right. So left arm comes over to the right and push down to that left sit bone. And then bring the right arm up overhead. And let's now bring a side bend over to the left. It's my right arm overhead, pushing down the right sit bone. You notice my shoulder. You want to have the shoulder pushing down. Okay, so you're pushing down to that left hand. And then coming up again. Little pinky fingers facing each other. And then down to the right again. Breathing, Ujjayi breathing. Coming up. Breathing in, breathing out, coming down. And breathing in, coming up. And breathing out. And breathing in, coming up one last time. And then breathing out, coming down to the left. And then let's come up. Left arm meets right arm, coming back into Anjali Mudra. Lifting your heart. So now let's bring the left arm up, lift up, breathe in, lift up, breathe out. You're going to twist over to the right. So that left hand comes over to the right knee, right arm behind you. And then coming up again, breathing in, and now the other way. And breathing in, we're going to do a set of 3 each side, coming over to the right again. And breathing in. This is number 2, I think. And up. Last one to the right. Try to keep your hips more pointed forward as you twist your upper back. Look back. And then up. And then to the left one last time. And then release. And then you can bring your legs out. You can just kind of do a little yay. Okay, so with that in mind, let's come to our back. And I'll do this in profile because it's easy for you to see me. I was told the other day the person that was doing my class couldn't see something because I was wearing dark clothes. So here I am. Okay, so you're on your back. So here I'm wearing white, is what I'm saying. I'm wearing white. Trying to get more white. Okay, so you actually want to lay your legs out. Okay, and just notice how your hips feel right now. And do they feel like even on the ground? Are both of your sides of your sacrum equally on the ground? And I have a blanket under my head. You can put a cushion or you can just have your head on the ground. It doesn't matter. So we're going to bring I'm not going to mirror you. So bring your right leg up, slide your heel along the mat, and then take that right knee out. And you just go as far as it's comfortable. And then slide your foot along the mat and it meets the other foot. Okay. We'll do that a few times on this leg, more than a few. So coming up, breathing out as the knee goes down. Breathing in, coming up and out. We are, and then in and out. Loosen up your hips a little bit. And in, out. We'll do one more. In. The whole time you're just sliding. The legs and feet don't touch, don't lift off the ground. Now let's do the other side now. So bring the left leg up and then have it come out to the side and slide along. Out. Breathe in. Out. Do 2 more. In. Out. And in. And out. Now you close your eyes and just notice if the sacrum is now equal. Maybe it was always equal, but maybe it wasn't. And if it wasn't, is it a little more equally on the ground now? Some teachers talk about pokiness. You get a little pokey on the ground. So which one is, sometimes you can feel one more than the other. So just notice that. And then let's just do a little bit more with the hips. So put your feet, actually I'm going to do this like, I'm going to face you now. Using a little bit of core strength here to move around. So feet on each side of the mat. And now we're just going to do some windshield wipers. Back and forth. You can even move your head in the other direction of the legs. And if I could see you, I'm sure you're all doing a great job. And then bring the feet to the midline, knees to the midline. And let's come over to table pose. And actually, I'm going to do this facing you because it's a little easier. So table, and then let's come back into child's pose. And if you want to, you can grab a block. So the knees are typically wider. I mean, for me, I do wider because of the lower back. And then just come back into child's pose with your head on, I've got the block on the middle setting, and just have your palms faced up. And this just might make it easier, as I said before, for your rear end to touch the top of your heels. And just notice how you feel here. And then coming up a little bit, still be kind of on your elbows here. Let's just move the hips back and forth, kind of like in a half moon, or you can even make it a little fishy if you want to do fish look. So curving or doing a half moon, whatever you like to do. And then coming up, let's just do, for purposes of equalizing the back, let's do a bird dog. So I'm not going to mirror because I'm sideways. So left leg back. And you really want to keep your core engaged. So keep your hip points coming together. So lift that left leg up and point the toes to the middle of your body. Leg should be like as high as your hips, no higher. And push through the heel. And then you can bring your right arm up. Really engage your core strongly here. This is called bird dog. And then coming down. Let's do the other side. Right leg back. And if you want to curl your toes of your left foot under, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's really just your preference. Now engage the core strongly. Hip points together. Bring the right leg up, toes pointed to the middle of your body. Push out. So you notice I could bend my knee. Push out to that heel. Left arm up in a handshake. Okay, and push through that right hand. Push. And try not to hang your head down. So look to the front of your mat. And then coming down. And then you can just do some hip circles. One way. Because that can be an intense. The other way. And coming to face you again. Here I am. Let's bring our right foot out to the side. Yay. And then you can just kind of slowly lean back. You can even, if you want to, come to your elbows. You might find you get a different stretch if you come up onto your hands. Another alternative, of course, is to have the blocks nearby, and you can actually hold on to the blocks. So you have choices as to how high you want to be. But find your comfort high level. I'm just going to lean back and really kind of stretch out to that right leg. So the inside of the thigh really gets a nice stretch here. I'm going to turn it into twist. So now your right hand is on the ground and you're going to twist your left arm up. So it's not going to go up like 100% because of the position. By that I mean you're not going to have a straight line from your right typically you won't. You have the shoulder mobility. And coming down. Let's try that with a block now. See how different it is. Right hand on the block. You're up higher. You might have more of a straight line. And you're pushing down to that left knee. And then coming down. Switch legs. And again, you can be just on, I'm going to put my foot out. Probably hard to see me on the other side of the block. So let's put the foot out there. You can see that. And then I can lean back. I can be on my elbows. I can be on 2 blocks. Whatever is easier for you to do and mobility-wise, flexibility-wise. Breathing. Then coming up, and you can do this, first of all, without the block. I've got it close by. And then just bring, now this is the right arm up. Now, this is my less flexible shoulder. And coming down. I'm going to press onto the block now and try it again. The other alternative is you can come down to your left elbow and do it. But my arm cannot go that far up on the side, so I'm going to leave it. The things that happen as we get older. Okay. And just to remember that the shoulder is probably the most mobile joint in the body, so it's not surprising there would be more issues with it as we age. Let's come up to standing. And we're going to do a little balance pose together with a side bend. So coming up to standing, and before we get started in standing, let's just come into a centered Tadasana. Posture. Taking stock of what the body feels like right now. What the mind is doing right now. Remember, yoga is not just about the physical practice. Where is your mind? Okay. So this is a different kind of a side bend. I call it like Indian goddess side bend. And so what you're going to do is, I'm trying to think of which leg first. Let's have the right foot in front. And you're going to take the left foot behind you like this. So you're going to be on your toes on the back foot. Squeeze the legs together. Then you're going to take the left arm up. You're going to do this little, you could even make it into the yin yang I've done before. And here you are. I call it the Indian goddess side bend. So really feel that right side. Left arm overhead. It's a balanced pose because you're on your right foot and you're on your left toes. And come up, unwind. And let's move the feet up to the center. And let's do that on the other side. So now your left foot is forward, and that's the most weight. And then just bring your right foot behind, and you're on your toes with your right foot. Toes. And you can squeeze the legs together because you're really on one leg. So you can bring your right arm up now, and you're going to bend over to the left, and you can bring your other arm underneath, kind of yin yang. And breathe, ujjayi breathing here. Feel the side, the right side of your rib cage expanding as you breathe. And then unwind slowly, like you're this dancer. Here we go. So that's a great way to get started and just do some hip circles. It's not, when you do these static poses, sometimes it's good to do a little loosening after the static. So we're going to start with just a simple sun salutation, just to do a little more warm up. And so I might move to the profile just because it's easier. In fact, I'm thinking I might bring the mat back a little bit. So I'm trying to make sure that the overarms you can see them. So let's start in Uttanasana. Have the blocks nearby if you need them. So I just usually put them at the front of the mat in case I need them. Let's bring the hands down, wide, and up in uttanasana. I'm still not hitting so you know what my hands look like. Right? And then let's come down into chair pose. So it's going to be your chair. It might be a lower chair than mine. And then pushing the heels up into standing or hastasana. Breathing in and then coming down to forward fold uttanasana. Your knees can be bent. Then if you want to bring the blocks closer, you can just come up to them, on them for your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And this is where I'm going to come off to the side. Okay, we're going to be here in Uttanasana. And we're not like this. You're lifting forward, okay? I'm going to put the blocks to the side and then come into plank pose. Some people jump back into plank pose. So with plank pose, lift up through your thighs, engage your core strongly. Okay. Let's come down into Cobra pose. So we're going to come down to chaturanga. You might need to come down with your knees, like chaturanga, like that. Or you can come down, but you want your face and your chest before your hips. And then just come up into Cobra. So hug the elbows close to your body. Your toes are pointed. Your legs are close together. Now press down to the top of the feet, top of the thighs, hip bones. Breathe in. Come up like a swan. Your head is the last thing to come up. Keep those elbows close. And then come down, pranam. We'll do two more. So pressing down, shoulders come up first. And as you breathe in, head comes up last. And one more time. Press down, shoulders up, breathing in and up. And come down. And to come out of this into plank, you can do your knees down plank. If you're coming up into regular plank, your hip comes first. So you're pressing down. Your hands are on either side of or just underneath your shoulders. So it's hips first and then downward dog. If you have to adjust your length, that's fine. Yeah. So bring the arms out. So if I did this from the front, arms come out and then hug them in. Scoop the belly in. And finally, the heart comes forward. And then you can jump if you have that mobility, or you can walk front, feet to the hands, and you're now in Uttanasana again. Knees can be bent. And then you can just do a halfway lift, like an offering. And coming down, breathing out. And then breathing in, coming up into your Urdhva Hastasana. It is too funny. Every time I look at this mic, at the webcam, it looks like I'm going down, down, down. So I'm going to move this back a little further. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do that again. So now you got the idea of what we're doing. And you can have your blocks in the front if you want them. If you need assistance with anything, the blocks are always there. Okay, so let's just get grounded here with our Tadasana, and then arms down wide and up as you breathe in. Come down into chair pose. Pain in the butt pose. You can put your hands behind your head too if you want to. And then up. And then down into Uttanasana. This is the breathing out part. Breathing in. And then plank. So here, breathing out. Okay, get these out of the way. And coming down in chaturanga, knees down or otherwise. Breathing in. Breathing out. Hands underneath the shoulders for Cobra. Breathing in. And out. Ujjayi breathing in. And out. One last time. Breathing in. And out. One more downward dog. So however you choose to come up. You can come up to table too. You can come up from Cobra to table and then downward dog. That's another way. So the difference between, if you want to look at this, the difference between hanging my shoulders would just be like hanging in my shoulders. If I bring my elbows out and I open the shoulders wider, I'm not hanging, I'm kind of coming forward from my shoulders. And then you can walk your feet forward or jump, be 2 hops. It depends on your mobility. And here we are into Uttanasana. And breathing in, let's do a halfway lift. Breathing out, coming down. And now breathing in, let's come up into upward handstands. All right. So I thought we'd do a little bit of warrior work here. And we've talked about warrior 1 before, Virabhadrasana 1. And bring a block to the front of the mat. You might need it on the high setting. So warrior 1, right foot forward, left foot back. Remember, you see that my heel is on the ground. My hips are off to the side. The setup. Look at the front knee as it's signaled in. Okay, you want to lift that front heel about 1 inch. And now push your back heel. Then move your upper part of the torso forward while this hip comes forward a little bit, but a lot of it is off to the edge, okay? Warrior 1. Then you can come into warrior 2. Now that would bring the hips off to the side more, the heart more, off to the side. And this is a little bit of a longer pose, so you could lengthen the distance between your legs. And you notice I'm going off this way now because I want a line between my heel, 2 heels. If I'm female, male, front heel, back arch. Okay, we've talked about that before. But now because I'm going from warrior 1, which has got a more of a hip distance, to something that's heel to heel alignment, a little bit different there. So getting that knee out. Getting your arms together. So I put my hands on top of each other and lift up. And here we are. And you can see my arms are over my shoulders. My tailbone is pointed down to the ground. Heart's lifted. Virabhadrasana 2. I have to work at that front knee. And then we're going to come forward. Keep the knee bent. You're going to come forward. And your block can be inside that front foot. In fact, I'm noticing that my back foot could be back even further. So adjust as you need to, okay? And then you're gonna hug that right hip into the left. So instead of being out there, you're hugging it in. Adjust your length as you need. And then you're going to take that left hand on the left hip, and the hip comes forward and down, but your heart opens up. So you might want to keep your hand on the hip. You might want to put the hand behind your head, but also you can bring your arm in like a soldier, look at your left shoulder, and then shoot it forward into your extended side angle. So remember that right hip is over to the left, right arm is pressing against the right knee. Maybe you're on the ground, maybe you're pressing against the thigh. That's another way to do it, okay? But you're opening this up, but the hips are going down, okay? And then bring your arms down. Then you can actually come into like a wide angle forward fold. So you might, if you have a wide angle forward fold, maybe you need a block. And then let's come up. So you might bring your feet closer together if you like, and pull the feet apart as you come up, like isometrically come up. Isometrically pull them apart as you come up. Okay? And we're going to do the other side, and I'm going to do the other side at a profile, so you see the profile part. And this time, we're going to have the left foot forward, right foot back, warrior one. So you have warrior one, hips off to the side. And really kind of think about that front knee. It's going to be over your ankle. It's not over, not sickling in. And the hips off to the side. And then come forward, the upper body. You're going to see this will come with you, but it's not quite as much. There we are. And then you can take around, we're going to turn this into a warrior two. And warrior one tends to be, for me, it tends to be a shorter stance. So I tend to bring my legs back further for warrior two. Looking at the alignment. In fact, I'm going to get over here just because it's more symmetrical on my mat. Okay, here we are. So here I'm warrior two. I'm more off to the side here. Hands, one hand over the other, one palm over the other. Or I should say one palm over the top of the other hand, and then here you are into warrior two. So arms are higher. Readjust the front knee if you need to. And then coming forward, so I'm going to grab this block because I didn't place it there at the beginning. I'm going to put my left hand on the block, right hand on my right hip. That comes down forward. So you're taking your right hip and it's going towards your left hip. And this helps it happen. Okay, so that is one movement. The other movement is the heart opens up. So you can take your hand on your rib cage and come up. Okay, and then whatever you pick to do with the arms, I like to do this like the soldier, and pressing the left arm into the left leg, left knee. Here you are. Yeah. So taking these in small steps, being aware of alignment really helps you not get hurt in yoga. And as always, if something hurts, stop it. Okay. I'm pressing down through my left hand into the block to kind of keep my head from getting into the shoulder, okay? And then coming up, pressing the feet apart. Let's turn the feet into a wide angle forward fold. You do a halfway lift, if you like. If you want to, you can grab your heels. This is one version of wide angle forward fold. Okay, I'm just going to see what I had here. My plans. Let's come up now. So press the legs apart, come up And I thought I would do something, I think we've done this here before, but it's called a moon salutation. So we're going to start, just going to see how this goes for us. It's called a moon salutation, Chandra Namaskar. Just keep myself so you can see me here. So let's bring the arms down, widen up. And then you can come down with the hands in Anjali Mudra, coming down, 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 down. Uttanasana. Halfway lift. And then you're going to bring your left leg back. You're going to go down into Anjaneyasana. So I like to put the back, top of the foot down. And here's my right hand, and then left hand, and push up, and then forward. So when you push your hands like this, you lift out of your hips, length, and then you can bring one arm up, and then another arm up. And then coming down, we're now going to go into downward facing dog. And coming down gently with your knees, and come into cow pose. And bring your knees out if you want to. Come down into child's pose. Then come up in a kneeling. And you're going to be holding the moon in your hands, your arms. And the next one is going to be a little different. You're going to bring your elbows together. You're going to come into a prayer pose on the ground, like a prayer pose, child's pose. So engage your core. Coming forward into cow pose again. Excuse me. Coming into downward facing dog pose. And left knee down. Excuse me, right. I'm trying to think of how I did this. This is called mirroring. So, yeah. Left knee down. No, right knee down. Left leg forward. That should have been it. It may look different. For some reason, I'm having an issue here today. So here we go. Let's do it this way. Yeah, left leg forward, right knee down. Sorry. So excuse me for the confusion. Here we go. Doing this. I'm having to translate this as I go along, so bear with me here. Sometimes that doesn't quite come up. Here we are. Up. And then arms down. And then you're going to curl your back toes under, and you're going to launch forward into your uttanasana. And then halfway lift. I've had teachers, and you're in a class, and you're saying, what side am I on? What side did I do last? And the students have to tell them what they just did. And then arms overhead. Let me step back here. So it is kind of funny. There we go. So we're going to do that one more time. And then we're going to go to the ground. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah. So one more time. Arms overhead. Breathing in, extending the spine, and then coming down in your Anjali Mudra. We are. And the halfway lift. And this time the right knee comes down first. Left leg forward. Hopefully I'll get it right this time. Okay, and then you're lifting up. So you're pressing down the back foot, top of the back foot. You're lifting up, and then arms, hands over your left knee forward. So you're lifting up at the same time, and then one arm, and another arm. Here we are. Lifting, and you're tilting your pubic bone towards your navel, and then coming down. We're going to come into downward facing dog. Coming down gently with your knees into cow pose. And then back into child's pose, breathing out. Breathing in, holding the moon, Chandra. And then arms together, elbows together, coming down into your chair pose, your prayer pose. Coming up into cow, breathing in. Bring your knees a little closer. And then downward facing dog, breathing out. And then left knee down, right leg forward into your low lunge or uttanasana. Again, pubic bone coming to the navel. So you have that little tilt. One arm up, the other arm up. And then let's come down, curl your back toes under, and then bring your back leg to meet your front leg. Feet are parallel. And then halfway lift. And then coming down. And now let's come up into Urdhva Hastasana. Lifting up, you might even want to come up to your tiptoes. Tiptoe, balance on bare feet. And then come down. So that's always a challenge. Tiptoe. If you can do tiptoe, it really helps your feet. And I've been working with this for a while, so it's taken me a while to get to the point where I can bring the arms over the head, but you can do it with practice, okay? So let's come down to the ground now. And this is really nice. Let's just do a little bit of this is something that I know that Patricia used to do, which is kind of nice. And I was doing this the other day with the Zoom class I have. And it's just really kind of doing this. Okay, like press with the arms. Okay. And we did this, I think, the other week too. And I think it's a nice way to go. And then you're going to come all the way over. Down, up. And this can be a warm-up as well. Warm up. And it can be something that you do at the end. And let's do one more on this side. And good. We'll call that good. And so I thought what we might want to do today is a little bit of a restorative, well, not restorative, I'm going to do a combination of two different poses, one leading to the other. I'm going to start with a bridge pose. And we're going to move into fish pose. So you have your feet hip distance apart. And really want to keep your shoulder blades kind of pulled in close together. I often will take my shoulders and kind of bring them together. And then just scrub your sacrum towards your shoulder. So it's got a little bit of an arch. And then just lifting up. And you don't have to come high. For those who want to come high, you can come up onto your tiptoes. And then if it feels okay, you can come back down on your feet. Just make it a slow movement. And then coming down, we'll do a few of these. Up. Down. And then up. And then this time, if this is available to you, interlace your hands underneath your glutes, and that allows actually your heart to come up a little bit more. You're pushing down more through your shoulders. You notice I'm not in a super high bridge. Okay, so really opening the shoulders here. And then release the hands and put them palm down underneath your glutes. And hug your elbows close to your body. And then come down. You're sitting on your hands. Extend your legs out. Right? And now for a fish pose, you're going to actually press through your elbows. And your head will come back. You'll be on the top of your head. Just make sure those elbows are in. Breathing. It's another heart opener here. Back bend as well. And then slide your head along, down, 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 and then you can bring your shoulders down and remove your hands from underneath. Ha. It's a very nice feeling. And then let's take our blocks. I got my blocks right next to me. And I do this sometimes for Savasana, but it's also really good to do for the hips, is to just put them on like an edge. So if I do it from front, you can see they're like this. And you're coming down to uttanasana. You let your hips just release. And if you have a blanket, you can put it under your head, or if you need it, you may not. And just notice the sensations you feel now in your body. If your feet don't have socks on them and they're bare, you can notice the sensation of the feet against each other. And a little note for those who wear socks while they're doing yoga, they have socks with little grippers on the bottom, so that would enable you to do yoga with socks and not be concerned with slipping, which can happen with regular socks. So if you're doing socks with yoga, grippers are a great idea. Feeling the first and second chakra here. Then you can release the blocks and just hug your knees to your chest. Go back and forth. I've got looks like I got a creaky floorboard here. I don't know if you can hear it. And then just take that left leg out and extend it and bring the right knee in. And you can even bring the knee out, opening up a little bit more like you were just doing. But not too far. So you don't want your left hip to come off the ground. I mean, not come up, in other words. And then back. You can extend it up. Push your heel up. So my hands interlace behind, and then bring that leg down. Let's change legs. Extend the right leg out. You might notice a difference between your legs, which happens a lot. Get that out of the way there. We are. And bring that knee out to the side. Just make sure this does not come up. So it may not go out very far. You come center. Extend the leg up. Push through the heel. And that leg that's on the ground, push through the heel. And release. And then find your Savasana. And one, I think I mentioned this the other week, one way you can do a Savasana is if you have like a chair. I'm going to grab this ball. But if you have a chair, you can put your legs up on the chair. If you have one of these balls, I did this the other day in a class. It was a special class, and we just put our legs up on the ball. If you have one of these at home, this is another good way to go. Just relax. So let's just rest here for a few minutes. Your Shavasana. Just releasing shoulders. Maybe any gripping going on in the body, allowing the gripping to just soften. Allow the mind to soften, become less dense, less monkey mind and more of a free mind. Remembering why you came here, why you're listening to recording, watching your recording. You're like, why did I come to this class today? What is it for? You know, something you'd be asked of anything in life. Noticing the stillness. And now breathing deeply into your body, moving your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, roll to your side. Usually the right side is a good place to go if you can. If you're on a chair, your legs are on the chair, you can just roll off the chair or sofa. And then when you're ready, push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Closing your eyes, keeping that focus within. And then bringing your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra. Just remembering what you came here for. and bowing your head to your hands. Thank you so much for watching this, either as a recording or live. And namaste. And remembering, as I mentioned before, we are having a new class. I call it adaptive/gentle yoga. Will be Mondays at 3:00. And again, it'll be mostly chair and standing. So thank you so much for coming. I'm going to come up to the camera now. I usually have a guest. Somebody else help me.